stories about what he's like and stuff, and especially from like the Star Trek crew. Actually, I went in for the photo shoot first, which I was booked into, and I was very kindly helped down the queue. But he was like sat for the photo shoot. He's like bringing a store, which is fair enough. I mean, it was certainly different to Patrick Stewart from last time, sitting down on the chair. He was sat in a store, and you're expected to stand next to him and then shove off as quickly as possible. And I kid you not, and this has really annoyed me. He sat there to take photos, and he sat there chewing gum. And I mean, especially from like my photo, you can see it. But I'm sorry, you're having your photo. You've paid like he's the most expensive celebrity I've met yet. And I mean, £35 probably doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, he sat there chewing, like, and you're having your photo. You're like, hey, having your photo taken, and he's like, it's like, stop chewing for like 2 seconds while he just goes flash. So then find that later, went to queue up for an autograph, and I kid you not, the queue was, I mean, I thought it was, you know, for Leonard Nimoy and Patrick Stewart it's been pretty hectic, but I kid you not, for William Shatner, they had it set out so it was like a bank. So you went one way, and then the other way, and then the other way, and then you get into the second part of like the room, and you're going that way, and that way, and that way, and that way, and also, despite the fact, not only was it 35 for the photo, it's 35 for an autograph. Again, the most expensive I've paid. So, but he is the last remaining Star Trek main crew member that I hadn't met. So, I get up to the photo bit that's like halfway along the queue. And for everybody else was doing personalisations. No. He wasn't doing personalisations. And you know what I said last time about Patrick Stewart about not wanting to pay like for something that I could buy on eBay? Well, by that time I still didn't have my photo with Bill Shatner back. So I had no choice but to... There was no way I was getting back in that queue because I've already stood in the queue for like half an hour. It was like trying to go onto a sodding theme park ride. So... I pick up a picture, it's like, well, he's not doing personalisations. So you get up to him, and you know you are only going to get like 1 second. I kid you not, it was literally pass and through. And of course you have got this bodyguard there, and there's these people wanting to take out their pictures, and the bodyguard's like, no, 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 no. But as I got up, literally as the person sat next to him took the photo off me, I knew I only had time, so I just quickly went, thank you for all the years of great entertainment and excellent acting. He looked up at me, and I kid you not, he looked up at me, kind of frowned, and went, okay. And then off, and then pushed the picture back to me. I was like, what? You know, he didn't have to respond, he didn't have to, you know, whatever. But a smile would have been nice, just a smile of recognition. But that really, really upset me. I guess I went in with, you know, you hear all these stories, and I kind of went in with kind of hopes that those stories weren't true. But I came away feeling very disheartened and frustrated. And thankfully my picture, although he's clearly chewing, came out okay. I just was not happy with that experience, but okay, I've met him. As for my picture with William B. Davis, who was a dream to me, and I have to confess, I went completely fangirly in front of him. I was like, okay, big X-Files fan, been there since the start, and I had like this poster to sign, and as well as a print. But the poor guy. Also because he's writing his memoirs apparently, so that's really cool. But my photo come back with him, and I was so gutted because, you know, by this point I'm tired. I've had a hellish journey. I get my photo back. Look at this, people. They've written all over my picture. See? Reshoot. Hang on, I can't get this right. Reshoot. Basically because I for whatever reason, I briefly looked down, and it came out wrong. So they said, you've got to come back either tomorrow, or you can come by the kind of photo shoot area, and we'll take a picture of your, knock things over, we'll take a picture of your eyes and then Photoshop them on later. I was like, okay, I'm going to look like a freak of nature even more than normal. So I said, well, why can't you just take Mr. Davis aside for like 2 seconds, quick flash, bye. And bear in mind as well, I gotta add, when they take these photos, the woman's using a digital SLR. She's got a nice digital screen, she looks at it, checks it, and goes, yeah, that's okay, and tells you to go off. She didn't realise until, I mean, bear in mind, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't even remember looking down, but it's pretty obvious. Hang on, I can't, because the monitor I'm looking in is the opposite. It's pretty obvious that I'm looking down. So, so they take a picture of my eyes, and yeah, we'll see how that comes out. It's not coming in the post. They're supposed to be sending it in the post. But by this point, I'm thinking nothing else can possibly go wrong. Boy, was I wrong. Basically, we went out, we left, and my friend had to catch a bus, and I was hoping that I could jump on her bus. Just to travel with her, and then I'd just have to wait at Heathrow a little longer, about an hour longer. And we we go to the bus stop that it says on the ticket, and we're sat there, and time goes past, and her coach's time goes past, and we're like, where is it? And she's like, no, it'll come past and then it'll go round. And I'm like, something doesn't feel right. So I look back down at the ticket, and it says, when when arriving in London, the stop is here. And this, bear in mind, you have your arrival and your departure information set out. And on the departure section it says, when arriving, stop so-and-so. When leaving London, and this is all in tiny, tiny print, and me visually impaired as it is, I mean, when leaving London, go to a different stop, which was about, like, we'd come out of Earl's Court and gone, back this way. Turns out we should have gone out of Earl's Court and that way. So we're sat there, and it turns out we're at the completely wrong stop. So then we have to run, and bear in mind, I mean, if I'd been on my own, I would have been sat there for ages, and that was my last bus home. So we ran all the way back, hoping to catch, because my one, this was for 6:10, my coach was booked at 7:10. So we had to run. My friend's stressed, because then she's trying to sort out about getting onto the bus, because you're not allowed to go on the coach unless you are booked on that specific coach. So she's phoning her family, and they're telling her, oh, you're going to have to pay £30 to get a coach home. She's like, I want to get home. But, I mean, I was so furious, because if you say you're departing, put the departure stop information. Don't put the arriving stop. Just why? And like I say, it was late and we were tired and that, so that didn't help. But let's just say I was absolutely knackered when I got home. My friend got home nice and safely and that, so it all worked out okay, and she didn't have to pay. But it's beside the point. The quality of service was awful. So we had fun in that, we got to hang out, and it was nice to meet the people that we met. But was that Kenny Baker? I don't know if he's been to so many conventions now that, but I tried talking to him and it just seemed to go over his head, and he's getting on and stuff, but especially when I asked him to sign it to me, the photo, and I was quite, like, to Tash please, and he just signed R2D2 and then Kenny Baker. I was like, okay, and I'm like going, can I have a quick photo with you please? And he's like, what? Well, can I have a quick photo with you? Well, where? I'm like, my friend said afterwards, she said, well, no, go around London Zoo and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a very odd day, and you know, I'm happy I got to meet her. And we were primarily there for William B. Davis, who we wouldn't have been there to see had he gone to Collectomania in Milton Keynes back in May. But you know, that was the joy of, because he'd not been able to get a BA flight due to all the striking and the volcano ash business and everything. So we were just lucky we got to meet him. So yeah, that was a very odd and exhausting day.